Kabo shalebasi erebo shalabasi. O samababu shalabasi. O sialarabo shirebo shire. Lo mama mo shalabo shire. Lurare siano sia mama mo shire. La bobo shalabasi erebo shire nama. Gloria erebo shire basi. Lo brahashaka barahasi. Mezi halikosi makoshata paradusia. Lumra si kembra hazunde. Lebro shaka pasete libradusa. Mokore se prasunde. Ekole prazunda makosha. Likroze de brezuda. Lord, we give you all the praise. We give you all the glory. Me cross se brehando. Le cruza bado shabando. Lo croseta librezo de corsi imando si palacuske badia. God bless you, God bless you, God bless you. As you're joining, I want you to share. As you're joining this program, I want you to share. Let somebody know that the prophet of God is online. Just share the broadcast. Let somebody know that the prophet is online. Resula babo shalamasika palagadia. Roko posete ke parada. Limbre sunne mekosha. Lamra zoka bahasia. Alebre hazunile behazunde. Now I want to teach on what I entitled Hearing God's Voice. Hearing God's voice. Hearing God's voice. Hearing God's voice. In Genesis chapter 1 and verse number 26. In Genesis chapter 1 and verses number 26. Do me a favor, I just want you to share the broadcast. Do me a favor, just share the broadcast. Genesis 1 and verse 26. The Bible says, then God said, let us make man in our image and according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over the cattle and over all the earth and every other creeping thing that creeps on the earth. So God created man. Now listen, I want to teach you on what I entitle Hearing God's Voice. It is very key as a believer to know how to hear the voice of God. It is very important as a believer to know how to hear when your master is talking. God is a father, and God is happy when we can hear his voice, when he can speak and you can hear his voice, when he talks and you can hear his voice. There are things that are happening around your life. There are things that are happening in your family, but God has been speaking to you, but you're not hearing his voice. Now, what I want you to do is that I want you to share the broadcast. I want you to share this broadcast because you need to understand how to hear the voice of God. Because hearing God's voice is one key thing that every believer needs to understand. Now listen, to Genesis, the Bible says, Then Lord God said, let us make man in our image. Let us make man in what? In our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and all other creeping things over the face of the earth. And over the... So God created man in his own image and in the likeness. I like this. In his image, made female and male, created them. Then God blessed them. And God told them, now, listen to me. When we talk about hearing the voice of God, everything that was created by God has an ear and can hear the voice of God. Even you as a child of God, you can hear the voice of God. It's not only to the prophets, not only to pastors, not only to, women and men. Everybody can hear God. Now let me show you. You are in a scenario and you want to be married, you want to marry, and you want to know the will of God concerning your marriage. You want to know the will of God concerning the job you have been looking for. You want to know about the will of God concerning your health, your finances. You are struggling financially. And you have been praying, God, I want to know what is your will? What is your will concerning my situation? Now, if you don't know how to hear the voice of God, God will be talking to you about the matter, but you cannot hear the voice of God. God will be talking to you about the issues of your life. But because you can't hear the voice of God, you'll be struggling. God is speaking. He has already spoken. He keeps talking to you. But because you can't hear his voice, you keep asking for what he has already spoken. You keep telling God, show me direction, when God is busy showing you direction. But the problem is, you cannot locate the direction because you can't hear the voice of God. Many people are crying today because you don't know where to go from here. The reason why you don't know where to go from here is because God has shown you where to go, but you don't know how to hear the voice of God. It's like when somebody speaks in China and you don't understand Chinese. There is no way you can understand what they are saying. So God is busy talking, but we are not understanding the voice. Everything that God created have an ear. Even the soil of the town where you live, you can command that land, and that land can hear your voice. I want you to do me a favor. Share this broadcast. Share it widely. Just share it to your groups. So you want to go into marriage. Before you enter marriage, make sure you hear God. God, is this the woman I'm supposed to marry? Is this the man I'm supposed to marry? Make sure that you hear God about that particular thing. If you want God to bless you with the issues to do with the job and business, pray God, is this the business I'm supposed to invest in? Is this the job I'm supposed to do? Am I supposed to do business of clothes? Am I supposed to do business of, beauty? Am I supposed to do business to do with food? What is the area you want me to do? And once God speaks to you in that area, when you invest in it, now you don't have problem. Because everything that happens in your life has already been planned by God in the realms of the Spirit. Everything that happens around you has already, been orchestrated, has already been defined. Okay, for example, you're asking God for a child. Are you asking God for a baby boy or a baby girl? Now, when God says, okay, I'm giving you a child, He says, I'm giving you a child. Now, do you have a ear that can hear the voice of God? Today, I will show you a few things that can stop you from hearing God. Every child of God qualifies to hear the voice of God. Every child of God qualifies to hear the voice of God. But I will tell you the reason why many people till tomorrow will not hear the voice of God. I just want you to do me a favor. I want you to share this broadcast to 7 groups. Just share this broadcast to 7 groups. Because what the voice that you hear will control your life. If God's voice is the voice that you hear, the voice of God will control everything that happens around you. The voice of God will control your health, will control your finances, will control your relationship, will control, your business, and everything that you put your hands to do, the voice of God will control it. So you need to understand, how do we then hear the voice of God? Number one, God, speaks in many ways. God speaks through a voice. God can speak through circumstances. God can speak through a dream. God can speak to you through prophets. And God can speak to you, either through a voice, either a loud or a still small voice. So God can speak the way you can hear my voice. God can speak to you like the way you can hear my voice. Number two, God can speak to you through circumstances. Like, for example, you are praying and you are busy praying for something. And something just from your room, like now I'm here alone, and something just drop and you hear a voice like that. You just hear a voice like that. It must not mean that something is distracting your attention. Maybe God is bringing your attention. Look, my daughter, my son, I'm already communicating something, but you're not hearing my voice. So, you are busy praying. You are busy praying. God, show me. Is this the man I'm supposed to marry? God, show me. Is this business going to take my money? God, show me. Should I put my money in this? God, show me. And there's something just happened. And you just hear a voice. Now, what happens is, God may be talking to you about something at that particular moment you are praying. But you need to have a high spirit of discernment to discern what is God saying per time. Why did I hear that voice? Why is it that that thing had to fall at the exact time when I'm praying about this thing? Or maybe you are praying and you are praying. I said number one, God can speak to you by a voice. The way I'm talking. You're just hearing a voice. Bam. And he's telling you, my daughter, don't go left, don't go right, don't go east, don't go south. That says the Lord. You hear a voice directly. Very possible. I hear it more than once. Number two way, God can talk to you. But again, hearing the voice, the audible voice of God, takes high level of discernment, purity, and righteousness. You don't hear God's voice and you are one person that you carry a lot of doubt. For you to hear the audible voice of God, you must conquer doubt. Because doubt is an enemy of faith. So if you are a person that your spirit keep doubting God, your spirit keep doubting the voice of God, that doubt will stop you from discerning, now this is God talking. So for you to understand and for you to be able to walk in the realm of hearing the voice of God, you must conquer doubt. You are not writing down. Everybody, I want you to comment, oh God, open my eyes. Oh God, open my ears. And I want you to share this broadcast to as many friends as you can. Tell somebody about this. So number one, I said you can hear the audible voice of God. Clearly, like you can hear my voice. My daughter, my son, do this. Don't do this. As I'm talking. Very clear. That is one. Two, when we talk about hearing God's voice, okay, as I say, there is things that can hinder you from hearing the voice of God. You cannot hear the voice of God audibly if you are a woman or a man that you walk but doubt, you have not conquered doubt. You must pray to conquer every doubt. When you hear God's voice, for you to hear God's voice, when something just comes to try to challenge the faith that you have in God, immediately you challenge it. Immediately you challenge it. You just hear a voice, you challenge it. You hear a voice that want to talk negative about your faith, you challenge it. Are we together? Number two, number one, I said you must conquer doubt. Number two, for you to hear the voice of God, the audible voice, like I'm talking and you're hearing. Number one, you must conquer doubt. Number two, you must be a person that likes prayer. I'm not just saying that you pray because your pastor said you should pray, or you have a problem you are praying. No, you make prayer your lifestyle. And God loves it when you pray and you go beyond your personal life and you pray for others. Now, when you go beyond your personal life and you pray for others and you pray for other issues that doesn't concern you, now we are calling that intercession. And intercession is whereby you don't pray for yourself. You go out of yourself and you pray for things that is out of you. Now, when you pray intercessory prayers, you are telling God, look, I'm concerned with the things that matters, with the things that concerns you. Now, what God does then is that God will open you up to begin to hear his voice, because he wants you to know about, like God was talking to me about India. And I will do a video about India. I prayed about the dying and people dying in India. And I was crying to God. I said, God, show me. Why should people die in India? And the Lord opened my eye and I saw India. And he told me the reason why people die in India is not because of corona. He said there is a force that have come from the star. There is a force that have come from the skies. And this is the force that is killing women and men in India. And God told me so much things that have happened in India. And the Lord opened my eye and I was taken to India. And I saw a rays of something coming from the sun. And it was smiting people in India. And the Lord said I should tell the church of India to rise up. Because what is happening in India is not necessarily corona. There is a force from the skies that is killing the people. Number two, the occultic people, the people in the cultic world, the satanic groups of people are rising and they are doing what we call the human blood, the human sacrifice. They are doing sacrifice of human blood. So the Lord opened my eye and I saw, and the Lord said that the church of India must rise up. Now, why is God talking to me about India? It's because I was crying for the lives of people that die in India. So for God to talk to you with an audible voice, you get to be an intercessor. You get to be an intercessor. Serious. Please, I want you to share this thing wide. If you can share this broadcast to more than 7 or 12 groups, my God will bless you. So for you to hear the voice of God, I say, number one, you must fight the spirit of doubt. Number two, you must be an intercessor. Somebody that prayer is your lifestyle. You don't pray because you feel like praying. You don't pray because somebody has blessed you with money or somebody asked you to pray. No, you make prayer your lifestyle. Number three, for you to hear the voice of God very well, the audible voice, as I'm talking now and God is talking, you must walk in righteousness. You must learn how to walk in righteousness. Now, walking in righteousness, we are talking about walking in righteousness, and when we talk about righteousness, we're talking about right standing with God. For you to walk in righteousness, you're talking about right standing with God. The word righteousness refers to right standing with God. Right standing with God. For you to operate in the realm where you hear God and God talks to you and you talk back, you must be right standing with Him. Are you a tither? Are you a giver? Do you fast when He asks you to fast? Do you pray when He asks you to pray? Do you go to church or you sit in your house? Do you do what God says you should do? Are we together? Do you stay away? Because listen, God will never talk to people that are not ready to obey. You are crying, God, I want to hear your voice. God, I want to hear your voice. And God is asking Himself, if I talk to you, are you ready to hear my voice? And if you hear my voice, are you ready to obey? Because many people want to hear the voice of God, but they are not ready to obey the voice of God. God will never talk to you until you are ready to obey what He will tell you to do. How many of you today, if God tells you what He told Abraham, you can do? He told Abraham, take your son Isaac, go and sacrifice. And the simple question is, how many today are ready to obey what God will say you do? Okay, you want to marry, for example, and you are crying, God, I want to know, is this the man I should marry? And God is saying, if I show you, are you ready to marry the man? Are you ready to leave the man? Maybe you have loved the man, you have gone too deep with the man, you have gone too deep with the woman, you are too deep into, you know what I'm saying? And you are telling God, show me. Now, if God tells you He is not the woman you should marry, if God tells you this is not the business you should do, are you ready and willing to stop? So once God learns that you are not ready to obey, God won't talk to you. So you must learn obedience. The Bible says that obedience is better than sacrifice. So for you to hear the audible voice of God, I say number one, you must conquer doubt. Number two, you must learn to be an intercessor. Number three, you must learn and practice. You must not only learn and practice obedience. Number four, for you to hear the voice of God, you must learn how to separate between the voice of God, the voice of man, and the voice of Satan. For you to hear God's voice, you must learn three voices and separate them. And know very well, this one is from God, this is from Satan, and this is my own voice. Because we have three different voices. There is a voice that can talk, but it is you, your inner voice talking to you. There is a voice that is talking, but it's the voice of the enemy talking to you. And there is a voice that can be talking, but now this is God. So for God to talk to you, you must grow and become mature enough to learn to know, to discern, and to separate between your own human voice and the voice of the enemy and the voice of God. Because God, why will you learn? It's because if you don't learn to separate between the voices, when you pray and God talks to you and you don't know how to separate the voices, what will happen is that God will talk to you, but because you don't know if God is talking, you will think it is Satan. Many times you under the sound of my voice, people under the sound of my voice, you have heard the voice of God, but you thought it was Satan talking. Because you have never learned how to talk, how to hear him. As I'm talking to you now, you have mastered the voice of your family members. Please, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to share this broadcast. Let somebody know that the prophet is teaching something very profound. Very profound. So for you to hear God's voice, you must grow to a level where when you can hear something, you can tell, no, that is my inner voice. That is not God. That is me speaking. You must learn to separate. Number two, on the same point, number 4, you must learn to know when Satan is talking. You can tell, this is Satan. And number 3, you must learn to know this is God. This one is God talking. So once God knows that you have matured enough, and you can tell when God is talking, and you can tell when the enemy is talking, if you grow to that level, now God will begin to talk to you. Because even you, there are things you can't tell your daughter or your son or your brother because they are not grown up of age to hear them. So God wants to see readiness, some maturity. Paul said, I will talk to you like little babies. You understand what I'm saying? But because he understands they have not grown. So for you to hear the voice of God, number 4, I said, you must learn how to hear. And that's why I keep teaching on this. Very profound. Very profound. Many of you, the reason why you are where you are is because you did not hear God in the beginning. That sickness you are struggling with couldn't have come into your body if you had the voice of God. That job you lost, you couldn't have lost it if you had God. That marriage that is frustrating you now couldn't have frustrated you if you could hear God. That supervisor that is giving you stress couldn't have given you stress if you know how to hear God. Now the question is, how do I hear God? And that's why I'm teaching on this. I'm teaching on this. Number 5, what do I need to hear God? As long as you are born again and filled by the Spirit of God, you qualify to hear God. Every born again child of God qualifies to hear God. By the way, even non-believers can hear God. But now, it's more important. It's more important and more practical for believers to hear God. So when I talk about hearing God, should I stay single? Should I marry? God, should I start this business? Should I not? God, should I serve you as a pastor or as a prophet? God, should I serve you as an evangelist or an administrator? Should I serve you as a praise and worship, or should I just go to church as a church member? And then now God begin to talk to you. So when we talk about hearing God's voice, we are talking about something very profound. I want you to do me a favor one more time. I want you to share this broadcast. The reason why I keep teaching on hearing God's voice is because when you hear the voice of God, the voice of God will give you direction. When you learn on how to hear the voice of God, I want you to type 7 times, oh Lord, open my ears. Oh God, open my eyes. If you learn on how to hear the voice of God, please listen to me. The voice of God will give you direction on where to go. You want to go like this, and you hear that God's talking to you saying, my daughter, don't go that direction, go like this. But listen, if you couldn't hear God, how will you know when God is telling you not to go that direction? The reason why we have messed in life because God warned you, but you didn't hear. Or you are hearing, but you don't know how to discern whether that was God or that was Satan. Do you know that some of you have heard God, and God was talking, but you keep rebuking, you keep cursing, you keep destroying, you keep saying by fire, you rubbish the voice of God. God is the one talking to you, but you rubbish it. Mostly when it comes to area that has to do with your money and love, anything that has to touch your feeling and your money, people don't want to listen to God. Okay, for example, God is saying, that woman will kill you. Don't marry her. That man will kill you. Will kill your destiny. Will kill the destiny of your children. Don't marry him. But because you have a feeling, and you know, once feeling comes to play, people don't want to reason, whether they are born again or not. Once feeling comes to play, nobody wants to reason. So what happens is that God is warning you not to go somewhere, not to do something. But because you already have feeling for the man, you say, I must marry him. I must marry her. And then now tomorrow, after you have married the woman, after you have married the man, then you realize it was not the will of God. Okay. God is telling you, don't travel out of your country. Because you are so much pushed, you like traveling. I know you like new adventures. You want to go outside the country. You feel moved. You say, okay, I won't listen to God. I want to follow my feeling. And then now you travel because, you feel you should travel. Listen to me and listen good. You want to travel until it is pushing you too much. Mm-hmm. And then now on your way to where you are going, you get an accident. And that's when you remember, but I had a voice. When feeling comes to play, people don't want to obey. And that's why when it comes to hearing God's voice, you must put your feeling aside. Put your feeling aside, put what you think aside, and then say, I shut myself. I shut myself. I want to hear God. I know this woman loves me. I know this man loves me. I love her back. He loves me back. But I'm not going to go by that. If God says he's not the one, I will shut that door. Whether they are chatting me, whether they keep telling me I'm an angel, whether they keep telling me what, I'll keep my ears off. I want to hear God. When it is about a job, and they're saying apply for this job, somebody has told you don't work for that organization, or God warned you don't go, but you look at the salary was big, you say, wait, this, me, I'll go there. Listen to me. When it comes to money, people don't want to listen to God. You want to go and listen to money. You don't want to listen to God. Mostly, when the deal is too good, God is saying, don't go there. Don't go there. Don't go there. But because money is involved, you don't want to listen to God. And also, the reason why sometimes we don't hear God is because God is asking you, my daughter, my son, I want you to give this pen and give this mask and give this Bible. And you say, God, you are asking me to give 3 things. Why must I be giving? Just a minute. God, why must I be giving? Why can't it be that you tell me, give this Bible, then receive this pen? Or give this pen and receive back the Bible? Sometimes God does not tell you to give the Bible to get the pen, because they want to check, are you giving because of what you are going to get? Or are you giving because you are obeying his voice? But many a times, when God speaks to us, give this, give that, and he doesn't tell you after giving this, you receive this, we don't want to listen. We don't want to listen. We just want to listen to giving when there is receiving attached to it. So we avoid the voice of God. And because you have been avoiding God in one area, you also avoid talking to you in another area. If you do not listen to God about your relationship, God will not talk to you about your finances. That is God. If you can't obey in one, you won't obey in the other one. So he shut himself. But he wants to talk to us every day, always. So what happens is that position yourself to hear. Allow him to talk to you any day, any hour, anyhow. Is it about my finances? Talk, Lord, I'm ready to hear. Is it about my feelings? Talk, I'm ready to hear. Is it about my relationship? Talk, I'm ready to hear. Is it about my children? Talk, I'm ready to hear. Is it about my ministry? Talk, I'm ready to hear. So that when you are ready all round, then now God begin to speak to you. Oh God, open my ears, open my eyes. So when you are able to hear the voice of God, I said God will give you direction. Don't travel to the village. Don't go to America now. Don't go for that business. Don't talk to that man. Don't go for that prayer now. Don't do the fasting today. Do the fasting tomorrow. Don't give that seed today. Give that seed tomorrow. Don't do that. It begin to direct you. Don't and do. Don't and do. Don't and do. There are things you get angry. You want to ask. You want to argue. You want to quarrel. But God is telling you don't. Don't talk now. When you enter, keep quiet. I will talk on your behalf. I will tell you what to say. And you enter into a meeting, you are quiet. God said I should not talk. And then all of a sudden, you hear a voice. My daughter, tell them it is well. And you just open your mouth, you say, all you have said, me what I can say, it is well. And they say, they see wisdom. You know, you did not speak yourself. You spoke the mind of God. And now everybody chooses to agree with you. Why are they agreeing? Not because you carry a lot of brain. You don't carry a lot of brain. What happens is that you have allowed God to speak through you. But sometimes we talk too much. You talk too much. You don't allow God to speak. So when you hear God, He will direct you. And when you hear God, His voice will motivate you. I love it when God show me where I should go from where I sit. I love it when God tell me what is happening in the realms of the spirit when my physical man cannot discern. I love it when I dreamt about something. It confused me. I go into prayer and then God begin to show me what to obey, what not to obey, what to do, what not to do, where to go, where not to go, who to talk to, who not to talk to. There was a time they wanted to poison me. There was a time people wanted to poison me somewhere. And what God did, God opened my eye. God said, don't eat when you go there. Because they want to poison you. When I enter into the meeting, this meeting was pastoral meeting. When I enter meeting, and they wanted to poison me, the Lord opened my eye already. So when I enter like that, I sat down. People are given food. They brought me a cup. They put before me. And when they brought that cup in front of me, a lady was serving tea. And she served my tea. The Lord said, don't take that tea. I pulled the tea away. And I told them, today I'm fasting. I didn't say I'm fasting because I'm fasting. But the Lord had already told me not to eat. So I told them, today I'm fasting. The lady got angry because I didn't drink the tea. And what they did, they took the tea and poured the tea down before my face. Hey. I said, God, thank you. What happens? When you hear God, you will run away from a lot of risk. And hearing God's voice will protect you from a lot of risks. I want to pray for somebody today in the name of Jesus. That may God open your ears and your eyes so that you can begin to hear His voice. So you can learn how He speaks. Things that can avoid God talking to you is number one, I said, is doubt. Number two, when you carry doubt in your spirit, actually doubt is an enemy of faith. And hearing God's voice has to go with faith. You must believe me, God can talk to me. But when you doubt, God won't talk to you. Number two enemy of hearing God's voice is ungodliness. You can't be practicing witchcraft. You want God to speak to you. You can't be a liar. You want God to speak to you. You can't be committing, adultery, and you expect God to hear your voice. You must walk in righteousness, right standing with God. So ungodliness will shut your ears from hearing God. Number 3 thing that will make you not to hear God is pride. Pride. God is saying, take your car, give it as an offering. You are too proud. You are saying, I can't walk. Give my car, then I begin to trek me, and people know me that I'm owning a car. I'm a woman, I'm a man of a level, so I can't reduce myself. Pride will stop you from hearing God. God will be saying, don't go here, don't go there. But because of your pride, you refuse to obey. So pride will stop you from hearing God. Number 3. Number 4, what will stop you from hearing God is a lack of training. Lack of training. If you are not trained, you don't want to learn, you don't carry a meek spirit, you are not teachable, you don't want to be corrected, you don't want to be rebuked, you don't want to be told where to go and where not to go, it will block you from hearing God. But I pray for you today, in the name of Jesus, that may God open your ears so you can begin to hear his voice. May God open your eyes that you begin to see what he shows you. I'm ending this today, and I'll be coming again with the same series on hearing God's voice next week on Tuesday, and I will teach on more dimensions on hearing God's voice. God bless you. God prosper you. Shalom. The Lord is our peace.